Wiggity, 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 whack.
Wiggity, wiggity, wiggity. Okay, so here's the thing.
You
I'm
can't
pretty
do
sure
it?
last time the reason my audio got screwed up is because it was muted. Sorry, I didn't check. Now that we've ranked the Final Fantasy games, we wanted to come back and rank another special franchise to us. It's kind of JRPG adjacent, right? And that's The Legend of Zelda. Actually, one could argue Zelda 2, buddy. That is a JRPG straight up. You got random battles and everything.
Yeah, I could
Is
say
it
so.
good? We'll find out. We'll find out. But what's up, Slam? How's it going, homie?
Hey, it's going pretty good. It's going pretty good. Been playing a lot of Death Stranding 2. Thoroughly
Yeah?
enjoying that game. I mean, it's in the running for my game of the year right now. It's just so good. It's way better than I had anticipated. Loving every minute of it. Been playing a lot of Final Fantasy X. We're both playing that, actually.
Yeah, we are. We are.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
for a future episode that I'm very, very excited about. That is
Yeah.
my favorite Final Fantasy. If you didn't know, I literally said it every episode for the past like 3 episodes. But yeah, I'm just those two games are what I'm bouncing between at the moment. What about you, bud?
Yeah, Final Fantasy X. I gotta have my redemption arc because I made this Final Fantasy video. People watching this have probably already seen it, and Final Fantasy X was smack dab in the middle, and I probably like at least half, if not more, of my new comments coming in are all like, "Final Fantasy X at rank 8. How could you?" Like it's just there's so much opinion on that. So I had to find an excuse to check it out and or check it out again and give it another shake and honestly like we'll talk about this more later in another episode but honestly I am surprised by how it's hitting this time. I think
I knew you would
I
be.
maybe it's just like my stage in life or something, or maybe it's because I've played it before and so I already know what's going to happen. But I have a much deeper appreciation, not just for the game itself, but like for the characters specifically that I did not expect. So we'll get to that in another episode. I will not say any more, but stay tuned for that one. I'm pretty excited about that. So I've been playing that one. Um, and I've also been playing Shadow Hearts.
Amazing game.
I got a TV sitting right here with I'm getting my retro consoles like set up in a different setup so that I can dedicate that time because I want to make some videos on it. And Shadow Hearts has just been a series that I've wanted to get into for so long. And so I finally just decided, you know what, to like test out the setup, I'm going to pop it in. And it is so freaking weird. It is so freaking weird. But it's really interesting, and I really love the combat mechanics so far. Like I forget what they call it, but the circle time thing that they have in the battle system. It's like a proto version of like what you get in Expedition 33, for example, where each character when they attack, you have to like hit it in certain parts of the ring to actually pull off the full attack. It makes it much more engaging. It's very interesting. Um, so I'm really enjoying it. I'm finding excuses to come in here and play that one as well. So I'll have to make a video about that at some point. And then otherwise, I have my stack, my backlog over here. So
Yeah, of course.
we always got other games to play, but trying to get to some of those classics. I'd really like to get to. I want to get through the Shadow Heart series. I really want to get to Xenosaga. I have the whole Shadow Heart series. I have Xenosaga 1 and 2. I will not commit to buying 3 until I have beat 1 and 2 because that's like a $400 game.
Yeah.
So I don't want to like buy it and then never get to it. So I'd like to get there. We'll get there eventually, but that's what I'm looking at right now.
All right.
But we're not here for Shadow Hearts, Final Fantasy, or anything else we've talked about. We're here for Zelda.
And I know, I
So
just
that's
want
what
to
we're going to
say
talk about today.
before we get started, I know a lot of you are looking at this tier list and you're thinking, these guys haven't played Breath of the Wild because it's down in the did not play. I will say that there is every Zelda game here. So the re-releases and we played Breath of the Wild on Switch. This is the Wii U version. Just wanted to kick that off. We will be talking and ranking Breath of the Wild, so don't worry.
Yeah. Same thing with Link's Awakening. There's DX in there too.
Yeah.
Actually, wait a minute.
No,
This doesn't have
DX
this
is
doesn't
there.
have every Zelda game. That's okay. We'll talk about some of those games anyway. We're missing. I just realized we're missing Echoes of Wisdom.
We
We're
are
also
missing Echoes of
missing.
Wisdom.
I think we're missing the Link's Awakening remake as well, aren't we?
No, it's there.
Is it?
Mhm.
Okay, good. Okay.
We
All
will
right.
talk about Echoes of Wisdom then. I think the only
We
one we're
will.
missing is Echoes of Wisdom, probably. I think
Okay.
that's the only one. But Link's
And
Awakening
then
is there.
also, yeah, there's some CDI games that we just, let's be real, we didn't play those, so we're not going to talk about them. But let's get started with Zelda 1,
All right.
the classic, the
When did
game
you
that
play it?
started it all.
And where did you
Okay,
play it?
so I played Zelda 1. This is actually really funny. When I was a kid, I didn't have an NES, but my babysitter did. And so I went over there and I would just like go through her games. And she had like the golden Zelda cartridge with the box and everything like that. And I remember putting it in after playing Mario and walking around and being like, this is dumb. I don't understand it. And
Yeah.
I put it aside and I didn't go back to it as a kid. And I wouldn't actually revisit it till years and years and years later. Actually, the Game Boy Advance one is the one I got the most time out of, but I did eventually play it. Um, and to me it's pretty basic, right? It's your classic formula. I have a much greater appreciation for it now because of Breath of the Wild, because of all of the conversation around how they sort of used that original concept and just kind of blew it up with modern technology to bring us Breath of the Wild. They were inspired by the original, but yeah, I was very confused when I played it for the first time.
Same.
Like I found the guy that says it's dangerous to go alone, take this. But then I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know where I was going. Like Mario, when I was younger, was so much easier because I just go and eventually I reach a flag and you hear the booms and you go to the next level and it's pretty straightforward. But I didn't know what to do with Zelda because I hadn't played anything like it before. So when I was that young, I was just like, let's move on. And then, of course, I played simpler games like Contra because, why not?
Yeah.
What about you?
So, first time I played it was at a friend's house. His dad had an NES and he had a bunch of games, and we went through them and we were just like on a tear, just playing everything that there was to play. And Zelda was one of the games that we played. And it was one of those where I, like you, had no idea what to do or where I was going or what anything meant. But I did have some fun with it.
Mm,
I do remember thinking, this is kind of fun," but it wasn't as fun as Mario to me at the time. That has since very much changed. But um,
sure.
we didn't play a lot of it. I did play a little bit of it on Game Boy Advance, but it was actually um, much later too, where I really dove in and finished it when I got like a modded Game Boy Advance with like a backlit screen and everything. Um,
Nice.
Maybe college, where I actually went through and like beat The Legend of Zelda. Um, I really like it, but it holds up terribly, and
Yeah.
it's not if we're looking at this slate of games right here, um, man, like it might be close to the bottom for me. I'd personally
Yeah.
probably rank it at a C.
Yeah, I would too. So here's what I'm thinking. So we have Zelda and then the Game Boy Advance remake. The Game Boy or not it's a port. It's not really a remake.
Yeah, it's the same game essentially.
I maybe we could put both of them in C, but we could put the Game Boy Advance one
It's a
up
bit,
front. So
yeah,
for me, the Game Boy Advance one is better because of the handheld nature of it. Like that just made it way more accessible. And because of that, I would put it above. But it's basically the same game.
yeah. To me, I don't remember there being any differences between the two really.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm okay with C. Honestly, it hurts to put any Zelda game in a C
That's why
tier,
there's
but
no F tier here, because all
Yeah,
Zelda games are fun and very creative, and I enjoy all of them. I don't think there's
that's right.
mm, maybe there's one or maybe there's one or two on here
Well,
that I
we're
didn't enjoy
about
so
to
much, but we'll
get
get
to a
to
new one.
those. Stay tuned. Um, yeah, I guess it's time to get into Zelda 2, The Adventures of Link, which
Zelda 2. Yes. Zelda 2, the JRPG of the Zelda franchise, because, apparently, so this is a funny thing to me. Apparently, there's some creators online that call Zelda a JRPG. Listen, folks,
there are.
if you don't
It's
know what a
not.
JRPG is, an RPG by definition is one where you level up and you have skills or abilities that you level up as well, right?
Mhm,
And that, by the way, is why Dirge Cerberus is an RPG for everybody
mhm.
who commented on my video that it's not an RPG. It is.
Yeah, same. I had it
Moving
in
on.
one of my videos. Moving on. We're talking about Zelda 2 here. I actually think oh, man. So, I
I
recently
Yep.
played this on the Game& and Watch, I think, is where I played it.
Oh, I got
Yeah.
that back there. Yeah.
Yeah, and I liked it better than I remember liking it. And
Okay.
I'm sitting here right now trying to decide if I like it better than Zelda 1. Um,
Mm.
and it's hard. I think it does a lot of
I
interesting things. It just doesn't feel like a Zelda game to me at all. Definitely strays off the beaten path, what you expect from a Zelda game. Um, but it definitely has some fun elements to it. It's short. It's a pretty short game. You
Yeah.
can knock that out real
I
quick.
I haven't revisited it in a while, so I'm gonna lean into your perspective on this one because, like, for me, I didn't jive with it at all. Like, it doesn't really feel like a Zelda game at all outside of its name. When I think about the Zelda series, it is very rare that I even think of Zelda 2. I feel like I remember, oh shoot, what's his name? He was a Game Explain for a while. John, what is his last name? Anyway, John with the epic voice. If you know, you know. He did a video a while back where he went back and he played it, and he was like waxing poetic about it. Like, hey, if you like dig into this game and you really like let it be its own thing, it's actually pretty dang good. And he was talking highly of it. So I feel like there's something to appreciate here that maybe I just missed. But personally, for me, like this is, if there was one game on this tier list that would be the lowest, it would probably be Zelda 2 for me personally.
Hmm. I would put it at C, behind Zelda 1.
Okay.
That's where I'm
Same
at.
same same story for the Game Boy Advance one.
Yeah, and just a note, I accidentally put the Zelda 2 Game Boy Advance one up when we were ranking Zelda 1. I have since fixed it, so apologies for that. Um, Zelda 2 C tier, right behind Zelda 1, and I'll put the Game Boy Advance version in front of the
Yeah.
NES.
Yeah, I feel like these two, if you're new to the franchise, you could just safely avoid these two unless you're like really into like retro history or something.
There's fun to be
Um
had. They're very short. They're not overly
sure.
complicated if you're, not a young child trying to get into games for the first time. You know what I mean? Like I
Right.
was when I played them initially. But like going back and revisiting it now, it was a better experience, I think.
Yep.
But
All right.
now we move into the
Now,
really good stuff.
yeah, okay, A Link to the Past. Like I did a video about this
I was in
recently.
that video.
Um this for me hands down S tier. I like this game. You were in that video. That's right. Um
Seems like
this
I'm in a lot of
game,
those, but
I know. I just keep pulling you in.
I know.
This game is so freaking good. It stands up so well. It's available on NSO, so you can get it on the Switch. There is a Game Boy Advance version of it as well. Oh, it's over further. We can probably put those next to each other if we want. I think the Super Nintendo version is actually slightly better because they made some mods to the Game Boy Advance one that I forget if it's the music or something, but it's like not quite the same quality. Still great, but um Yeah, there's so much about this game when I was playing through it that I realized was like foundational for the series. You have the dark world, light world thing. You have some of the music, like some of the classic music that just bleeds into the rest of the series. Started with A Link to the Past. Um, there's so many of the different elements with the way he uses tools and everything like that. It's just so good. The way it starts, oh, the intro of the game is so good. It's like raining.
Yep.
You hear the voice of Zelda,
The
your
colors
uncle.
pop so
Yeah,
much.
your
Yeah, it
uncle
looks
is
so
like,
good.
stay here, and then you go find him, and it just like kicks off this adventure, but it's kind of like scary. There's lightning, and oh, it's just, oh, I could just go on about this game.
This
It's
might
so
be
freaking good.
the best Super Nintendo game. Ah, it's right there. I mean, obviously the Final
It's
Fantasies,
up there.
but it's A Link to the Past
Yeah,
is really, really special. Um, yeah, I'd put it in S tier. I have no problem
yeah,
with that. It's one of
yeah,
my favorites. Is it my favorite? No, but it's definitely up there. Maybe top
yeah.
3, top 5.
I I would put and the if you want to, you can just grab the Game Boy Advance one. Maybe just put it behind it. Some people would argue that the Game Boy Advance one is better because of its accessibility, but I think the classic Super Nintendo version is the better version, and I think you can get both on the NSO.
You
So
can, I think. Yeah, I think you're
if you're
right.
gonna play this game and you haven't played the Super Nintendo version, not the Game Boy Advance one, which I think you pay less for anyway if you're not already paying for the expansion pack. So there you go.
There you go. Yeah,
Yeah,
A Link to
that's
the
a
Past.
classic. It's
So good.
so freaking good. Yeah.
Next
All
up,
right. Link's Awakening DX.
this
What are your
is
thoughts, Lamb?
this is a great game. It's got so much charm and it's so weird. It's just so odd. The like appearances of like some Mario universe characters are like, you've got the whole story of like this mysterious island that he crashed on. It's like just such a off the beaten path story for Zelda.
Mm-hmm.
And it actually ends up being just incredible. And it has some of the better dungeon design in the
Yeah.
series, in my opinion.
Yep.
Um, yeah, for me, this is A tier. I don't quite think it's S tier. I could even pop it down into B because we'll get into the remake later, which I think is a lot better. Um, but for me, I'm waffling between A and B tier.
Yeah, let's stick it in A. So I feel like this to me this game it almost feels like proto like Majora's Mask. And what I mean by that is like it's it is completely unrelated to like it's a true side story for Link, a true side adventure. Like going and showing up on this island and having the whole story with the windfish. I guess I don't want to really spoil anything if you haven't played the game. Um, but not really having Zelda in the game, you have Marin and there's like importance with her. There was this whole mechanic where if you didn't die in the game, it would actually change the ending. So if you are going to play the remake or this game, like try it. Try to go through the whole game without dying. I actually managed to pull that off in the remake, and it was so good the way they did it. But on the Game Boy, like the DX version is great. That's why we put the normal version and did not play. By the way, the DX version was great because it was accessible on the Game Boy Color, and there were the pixel art scenes of what's going on with Link and stuff like that. It was so memorable, and being a game in handheld at that time, I remember being a kid and being just introduced, like truly introduced to Zelda. I know I like played the first one and didn't really know what it was, but being truly introduced to Zelda and having this on the Game Boy Color, and I was just like I was in love. I loved this game. It was so picturesque, so memorable, and so much fun to play through. So
The music
yeah, it's
too.
not.
Oh,
Oh, the music. Oh, the Ballad of the Windfish and
yeah,
everything. I'm still showing that stuff to my kids, by the way. Like
yeah.
we just pulled up like there was this remixed Zelda CD that we found. I'm gonna shout out this creator. Let me like look it up real quick. I think it's like Alala or something like that. Um, but Yeah, Alala. Yeah, someone named Alala, probably on YouTube, did this like epic collection of the Legend of Zelda music, and it includes the Telltale Heights, which is so good. It's like such a good jam, and the way they did it is amazing. So shout outs to Alala. But yeah, it's great. I love this game.
Yeah, same. Um, so now we have that in A tier. We've got a Link to the
Okay.
Past in S tier,
Yep.
Zelda 1 and 2 in C tier. Okay.
Yep.
Now we're moving on to Oracle of Ages.
Oracle of Eight. We could probably just lump ages and
Is in seasons
seasons.
together.
Yeah. I played both of them. I think I like ages slightly better.
It's hard to
Um
say, really. I can't remember
yeah.
much of the differences between the two. Um,
Yeah, the stories are different. The dungeons are different. This is actually there's a really interesting backstory to this too. They were originally planning on doing a I don't know what they were going to call it, but like a green one, and it was supposed to like represent the Triforce. It was going to be a whole thing. I think Capcom actually worked on this one,
yeah, they did.
um, but they ended up just scrapping the third and going with the two. And I remember when I when I played this, so I got I think I got seasons first. And I remember I have this very specific memory of being at my mom's school. So my mom was a second grade teacher, and uh, every summer she would like go in and work on stuff in her classroom. And she'd be organizing books or getting things ready for school, whatever, doing curriculum, etc. And so sometimes I would go with her to help. And if I didn't have anything to do, I'd play my Game Boy, right? And I remember playing this game and beating it and getting so excited. And they gave you this code at the end. And it was to unlock this like extra part of the ending where you had this like final fight with Ganondorf or with Ganon and stuff like that. And I kept putting in the code, and I was so frustrated because I was like, I put it in right, I put it in right, and I was like almost on the verge of tears. I was so angry. I'm like, what am I missing? And then I found out a couple of weeks later that the code is for the other game, and I kept putting it back in
Into
thinking
the
it was
same game.
for this game. And I was so frustrated, but then I finally got it, figured it out, and I think I traded codes with a friend or something to get the ending. Um, and it was super cool. But I ended up getting both of them eventually and playing through them. And I love these games. I would probably
For
these
me,
probably would be A or B tier for me as well.
yeah,
I'm not sure. What
I
about you?
think they're B for me. I
Okay,
do like them. I had a lot of fun with them. I just don't see them on the level of a lot of the other games here. Right.
sure.
I love them. I think they're great, and I've been meaning to revisit them on the NSO. Maybe my opinion changes once I do because I haven't played these in a really, 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 really long time. But it's probably been I've pro like it's probably been the longest gap
Okay,
between playing a Zelda game for this whole list, maybe.
okay.
So I would probably go B tier because of how I remember them and just not really not that I didn't like them, but I didn't like love and adore them in the same way that I did
Yeah, yeah.
most of these.
I'm comfortable with that. I feel like they're great games. If you're into Zelda, you will definitely enjoy them. But I do feel like they're not as memorable to me as Link's Awakening.
Oh
So
yeah.
having them in B, I think would make sense.
Yeah, for sure. I'm with you.
Word.
I'm with you.
Let's do B. I still think Ages is better than Seasons personally. So I would do Ages and then Seasons behind
They're
it.
on the NSO and they're relatively short games. I'll go back to them. I'll if I
Yeah.
get an itch for some old school Zelda, I'll jump into
Yeah.
these.
They're good fun. I think for me the most interesting thing about it is the lore behind it. Like I would love I don't know. Nintendo will probably not do this, but I would love it if they did like a Link's Awakening style remake and gave us all three,
That would be
like
cool.
even in a package of some sort,
Mhm.
and that you can do something pretty cool with. just because knowing that that's there always, makes you curious, right? You're like, what could it have been? What would that story have been? How would they have all connected? So I would love to see them like fulfill the vision that was originally there. But as they stand, still great. I think B tier is a good spot for them.
Yeah. Okay. So moving on, we've got Minish Cap. I love Minish Cap. This is one of my favorite Game Boy Advance games, hands down. Man, it's just such a cool little Zelda game, and one that I actually did not anticipate liking as much as I did. Um,
Yeah, it's so weird.
it is a
But
weird
I
one.
loved it.
I loved it
Yeah.
too. I like the art. I like the music. I love how just different it feels, and a lot of the things on the Game Boy Advance just like really popped color wise. Had like a lot of
Yeah. The color
what's
palette, the art style.
had a lot of character to them. Like a lot of
Mhm.
you know interesting creative ideas were tried on that console.
Mhm.
And I felt like this was one of the best examples of that. Uh,
Yeah.
I did go back and play this on the NSO. Did not finish it, but dabbled in it a little bit and had some fun. Um, yeah, for me, I'd still probably put it B tier,
Okay.
but
Like top of B tier?
ahead of the Ages and Seasons games.
I agree. I think that's a comfortable spot for me as well. Yeah, I loved it. It was unexpectedly fun for me. I remember having pretty low expectations because of the the art style being the same as Wind Waker. And I don't mean that the art style for Wind Waker was bad. I was actually one of the few that really liked it. I remember when we can talk about that with Wind Waker, but everybody lost their crap when that game came out and it looked that way. Um, but it was the Four Swords stuff that made me like, is this gonna be like another Four Swords game or is this like an actual Zelda game? And then I got it and I was like, oh, this is an actual Zelda game and this is weird.
Yeah,
You had who was the villain? What's his name? Like Volley or Valdi or something like that. Um, who was like a mage trying to, I think he ended up still trying to resurrect Ganon, but still like it felt like, oh, this is kind of a different villain. You got the concept of the hat shrinking you down. So there was like a different perspective on the world and everything like that. So cool. I loved it.
yeah, me too.
So I'm comfortable with that spot. That's a good spot.
Awesome.
All right. Speaking of which, Four Swords.
Four Swords. I feel like this. I can't remember. Was this like positively received, like critically?
I don't remember. I What I do remember was the setup for this game made it feel uh almost unplayable, kind of like Crystal Chronicles. So, Crystal Chronicles was a GameCube game where if you had friends, I think if you had friends the game was quite fun if you did it with people. And it was designed to do that. But if you didn't, then it was pretty hard to like enjoy the concept. And and it was the same thing with this game where the whole design was for multiplayer, but like unless you had a bunch of friends that were like ready to play Four Swords with you, which I that wasn't my experience. It was like okay, like I would probably put it in. I don't know. I might even put it in D tier personally.
Yeah, I wasn't a huge fan of
Just
this
from my,
one.
it was from my
I
experience.
very
Yeah,
played it very little, um, and was confused by the concept personally. Um, hmm,
I
D
think it was a
tier,
cool idea. I just like personally, I did not get to experience this to its fullest because
same. We'll go mm, D tier. Defer to
okay,
you on that one because I played very
okay.
very little of that game. But now, Brandon, we get in.
We're at the good stuff.
We
Let's
get into what
go.
I think is the best Zelda game ever made and probably a top 3 game of all time for me, and that is The
Ooh.
Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time, and there is so much nostalgia for this game honestly, when I think of me enjoying video games and becoming like obsessed with this as a form of entertainment for me, I think of Ocarina of Time. When that
Mm,
music hits and you go into the open world and it's that same tune every time.
yep.
It's just like it hits something for me that is honestly unmatched.
Even the intro music, like I think someone on Twitter not too long ago dropped the title screen for Ocarina of Time, and hearing
The
the horse
horse
with the
hooves,
music
yeah.
playing, it was just like, I'm like sinking into nostalgia.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. The
Oh man.
dungeons are so good. I mean, I even like the water temple. But well, like there
Yeah.
is
I
there is this is almost a perfect game for me. It's pretty close. The different side stories on the side characters, each area you go into is vastly different, super unique. There's a ton of um, stylistic choices made with this game that I was very, very happy about. Going from child Link to adult Link was just so cool at the time.
yeah.
That was like a main topic of conversation with your friends if you were playing on Nintendo 64. Have you got to that turning point yet? Um, I think, yeah, Ocarina of Time is top of the S tier for me, and I think it is.
Yeah. I agree. So I think what Link to the Past did as the foundation for the series, Ocarina of Time like took to that next level. Like it brought us into the 3D era. It gave us more iconic um, characters and music and things to build on. So you have like Gerudo Valley and
Yeah,
the pose, and I mean, like some of that stuff was in the Super Nintendo game as well, but they really like brought it out. You had these like side quests that you can do. You had the whole like the Big Goron sword side quest that you could do so that in the last battle when things got crazy and the master sword gets lost, you could have another sword if you went through that whole quest line. um the music was incredible, the dungeons were
Ganon
crazy. I
was
remember as a kid.
also such a force in this game.
Oh yeah,
You know what I
Ganondorf,
mean?
oh my gosh, dude, yeah. Like, yeah. uh he became Ganondorf in
Yeah.
this game. Like everything that came after him started here. I remember as a kid, man, like this game captured my imagination in a way that very few games did. Like I got into drawing because of this game. Like I would be drawing like other villains or like villains based on the villains, like Volvagia or whatever he was called, the fire temple boss when you're an adult. It was just so good. Like I could
And
just
there's
go
so many
on. We already said this is
twists in the
S tier, but
story too, which
yeah.
was kind of like unheard of at the time,
Yeah,
right? For
and it
like,
also
yeah.
got it also got, like, legitimately terrifying.
Yeah,
For,
it
like,
did.
a young kid, you're like, "Oh, Zelda, like, this is cool," and then you see Ganondorf the first time, like, coming out and, knocking little Link down with his horse, and you're like, "Oh, this guy's kinda scary," and then when you become an adult and you walk out of the temple and there's oh, shoot, what are they called? The zombie things.
Oh, I
They have
can't
a
remember.
specific
Yeah, I
name.
know what you're talking about, but I don't remember
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah, but they'll, like, jump on you, and you're like, "What the heck is going on?" And then you have, like, the spirit temple and the shadow temple where there's the hands dropping, and it was like, "This is wild." Like, what did I get myself into? Oh,
One of the
man.
greatest games ever
Yeah,
made, hands down. It's not really that
yeah.
close. Yeah. So top of the S tier. It'll be hard for anything to beat it, but I think there's one other game on here that may come close.
And
But
that's Majora's Mask.
Majora's Mask is next, and the hot
Yes.
take is we both love it. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
I
I don't care what
think
anybody says.
I think Majora's Mask is one of the most creative ideas in the entire series. When it
Yeah.
comes to Zelda, I just think it was so like gutsy of them to just take everything like the engine and style and everything of
Yep.
Ocarina of Time, just flip it on its head, make something completely off the wall, insane and dark and weird and just so crazy. I mean, the game top to bottom is completely different than
Yeah.
anything you would expect from a Zelda game. And Majora's Mask with the whole 3-day cycle mechanic and, being on a time limit. When you first get introduced to that, um, it's intimidating and it kind of makes you want to put the game down and not play it anymore. um, until you realize that there's a loop here. And once it grabs you where you're like, okay, I made a little bit of progress. I got to do this, 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 and this. If you're a certain kind of person, it's going to grab you. And it did grab me. I had a notebook I was writing in after school. I would like go do some things in Majora's Mask. This is here, this is there, this is what I did. And then I write it all down. And you know what I mean? And I kind of just like
Yeah.
and they actually added a notebook to the 3DS version, which I thought was funny. I was like, I literally have one of those, a real one. Um, but Majora's Mask is also an S tier game for me. Now, do I put it ahead of Link to the Past? Is hard to say. I definitely. Hmm, I
I let me talk through my thoughts first and see if I can hype myself into even considering doing that. So Majora's Mask for me, I feel like let's just start with the vibe. The vibe in this game is something else. Like it is so unique and like human and weird and dark. And there's this concept. I've said this before. I don't know if I've said this on the podcast, but I've said this before where there's this concept in this game where like Link, and this is like younger Link, which is also super interesting when you consider how Ocarina of Time kind of like branches the history at this point. Um, but you have your younger Link, who's kind of he's not fully adult, but he's not the young Link in Ocarina of Time. He's a little bit older, going in being thrust into this situation where he's turned into a Deku and he's got to figure out what's going on, and then he's in this world where suddenly he's like, oh, something is terrible is about to happen and I need to figure out how to stop it. And because of the time loop, you have this unspoken concept in this game that Link is going through this loop over and over and is basically being a hero for the sake of being a hero, not because he's recognized or anybody remembers him. Like at the end of the game, you walk away from Termina and nobody has any idea who you are, even though you just saved everybody's butt.
mhm.
And that to me was so interesting, especially with the four like the four corners of Termina and the stories you get there and the masks and the stories behind the masks. And then once you get all the masks, you get the fierce deity mask, which is like the coolest iteration of like an adult Link ever, where he's got the helix blade. And I used to go to I don't know if you did this, but I used to go to the milk bar. It's kind of funny. First of all, you can play Battle of the Windfish in there, and it's sick. Second of all, if you get those, the milk that makes it so that your magic never runs out, you could basically go up and cheese any boss with the Fierce Deity mask. You like
Yeah,
stick it on, and whenever you swing the Helix sword, it doesn't do anything to your magic, so you could just go crazy.
yeah.
And it was amazing. And it's just like so unique. This takes what Link's Awakening did as a side story and just made it into something truly weird and unique and special. And there's nothing really like it. Like I've constantly said I want another, like what's the next iteration of Majora's Mask? Um like Tears of the Kingdom was amazing, but it wasn't like, not that it needed to be. Tears of the Kingdom is good. It didn't need to be Majora's Mask, but like I kind of want that, like give us that super weird spinoff where Link is in a situation that's not just your standard saving Zelda. Like give us something off the wall like this again, because Majora's Mask was kind of the last time we really got that. And there's just nothing like it. So all of that said, I still don't know if I put it above Link to the Past.
Yeah, I'm okay with putting it behind it.
Yeah, but I still want it Nest tier. I love Majora's Mask. I think it deserves to be up there.
Yeah, I agree. Um, so moving on to a more obscure title, Link's Crossbow Training on the Wii.
Uh,
I did not
uh,
play it,
I did. It was fun. It's just not it's just not a full game. It's like a demo. It's like here's how you use the Joy-Con in a really cool Zelda-y way. So, I think it was more fun than Four Swords, but like pitting it against actual Zelda games, I'm not sure if it should be any higher than a D.
all right, it's going in D. There we go. Moving
Just yeah,
on
make
because I
sure it's
have almost
above.
nothing to say about Link's Crossbow
It was fun for what it was. It was cool. It was cool, but yeah.
Training.
All right.
Hyrule Warriors. So we got a few iterations of Hyrule Warriors here. We've got Hyrule Warriors on the Wii U. We've got Hyrule Warriors on the Switch and on the 3DS. Right now, I'm just gonna default the 3DS to D tier because that game is almost unplayable. It is absolutely atrocious. How they
All
even
right.
thought about putting that game on the 3DS is baffling to me. But I digress. We've got Hyrule Warriors on the Wii U and the Switch. I have only played the Wii U version. So you can tell me
Yeah,
if you think the
I
Switch
would.
version is considerably better or
It is. I think it's better. I think, but not so much that it should be like wherever we put Hyrule Warriors, we should just put the
but both
Switch
of them.
version as one step ahead. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I
Um.
I don't really like this type of game. I was big on the Persona 5 Strikers one last week because I do like that game a lot, but I'm not a huge fan of the Hyrule Warriors games. Um, and now that I'm looking at this list, we don't have the other one on here. We don't have Age of Calamity.
Yeah, I noticed
Um,
that.
so for me, I'll put um I mean it was kind of fun gameplay wise, but for me it's still a D. I'm just not that
I'd put
into
it in
it.
C. Um.
Behind Zelda 1 and 2?
No, I'd even put it. I'd put it top of C.
Mm,
I think this like what's interesting to me about these is this was the first time that they really took a crack at this formula, like taking the Warriors formula and applying a different franchise to it. And what I didn't like it, and this is, I can just like hear it in the comments now. Um, I didn't like the fan service they added to it. Like I was like, this is a Zelda game. Like, yeah, I know there's like the great fairies and there's, Ruto and there's the Zora and stuff. And it's not like nothing has been in the Zelda games before, but like it just felt like really weird in this game and kind of unnecessary. Um, but other than that, the gameplay itself was fun enough. The getting to play with some of the other characters like Zelda or Sheik, or not Sheikah, or not Sheikah, Impa is what I'm trying to say. Impa, and then a few of the others. It was cool. Like I had fun with it for a while, but it was samey enough that it was really hard to get all the way through and like do everything because there was like a lot of grinding, which normally I like, but it got boring after a while, to get like weapons and upgrades and things like that. Um, and because it was like a unique story, it was it's kind of a I don't know, it was just
I
kind
didn't
of
think the
like
story was very good at all.
yeah, it wasn't very imaginative.
I
It was a
mean,
little bit boring.
yeah.
Like, they really, really leaned in on the, like, "Hey, look, a new Zelda character," which was cool, but, like, again, after a while, it was like, "Okay, but now do I have to level that guy up?" Like, I don't know. So, I had fun with them.
I
And
I'm
Definitive Edition did have, like, Linkle, which was pretty cool.
I'm in
Um,
I'm interested. I'll put it in top of C just because the gameplay was fun.
yeah,
But
yeah,
that was I don't know, not really into it as much. I have just for your information, I have added Echoes of Wisdom and Age of Calamity to the end of this list, so we'll talk about those
okay.
later. Um,
Word, let's go.
Moving on, we've got Ocarina of Time on the 3DS. So we already spoke at nauseum about Ocarina of Time.
What do you mean?
I could
How do you
rehash
feel?
all of that whole conversation again about how it's one of the greatest games ever made. Um, I still put, oh man, I don't know, 3DS version might be the best version of this game. Uh,
Yeah,
they really
I would
cleaned
put
up a
it.
lot of stuff and they made some quality of life improvements, and it's in handheld. And I mean, I've actually played, I have the opportunity to go back to both versions of this game very regularly, and I consistently go back to the 3DS version. So I think it goes in front.
Yeah. I know it's gonna hurt some heartstrings to put it in front, but like if you are watching this and you haven't gone back and played the 64 version, it's the camera and stuff that can just it could just get you, and they cleaned a lot of that up on the 3DS version. So I do think it is the best version so far.
Yeah,
And honestly,
and
same thing for Majora's
Majora's
Mask. I
Mask.
would
I think
yeah.
there's less of an argument to be made on which version is better for the Majora's Mask. I think the Majora's Mask 3DS version is definitively better, although some would argue that it's easier, so that makes it worse. But in my opinion, that's not true. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with, so right now in the S tier, we have Ocarina of Time 3D at the top, then Ocarina of Time, then Link to the Past, and then A Link to the Past on the Game Boy Advance, then Majora's Mask 3D and Majora's Mask. That's where we're at on
Word.
S tier right now.
Word.
Now we're moving on to some games that I don't really like.
Our buddy Shinky on Twitter today just dropped something about how Phantom Hourglass and Spirit Tracks had some really innovative mechanics and things like that. We tried getting him on here, but he's going to some distant worlds concert that's amazing or something like that today. So fine, Shinky.
Listen,
You're just gonna have to defend yourself in the comments, buddy, because you're not here.
do it. Everybody's entitled to their opinion, and I appreciate that. And some people liked these games, and I also respect that. I did not like them. I think these are both D tier. I did not really have fun with these games at all. I thought the story was not that great. I didn't like the art style. I didn't like how they like forced you to use certain aspects of the 3DS handheld. Like, I hate when Nintendo does this. I really do. I hate it when they do this with mainline games, right? If you're going to make like
Mhm.
a 1-2 switch type thing, fine. I can choose not to play it. This is a Zelda game. Let me play like, let me play
Let me
Zelda
live my
the
life.
traditional way. Like, don't force me to use parts of the system I
Yeah.
don't want to use to play these games. Look, it had some really cool ideas. Every once in a while, you're like, "Oh, that's clever." But in practice, when I sit down and I like want to play it for long periods of time, sometimes I just don't want to do any of that stuff. And I found myself like rolling my eyes at like, "Oh, man, I got to do this again." You know what I mean? And so Phantom Hourglass and Spirit Tracks are both D tier games to me. If you feel a different way about it, I can maybe be okay with putting them at the back of C tier. But I think these are, and I mean, I
I'm
guess
sorry, Slam,
they're,
but these are S tier and they are better than Ocarina of Time. No, I'm just
it's
kidding.
not even
I
possible.
actually I never beat either of them because I played them and it was the DS controls just like
They're not
I
good.
maybe it was just like a mental thing for me, but I was just like I don't care enough to figure some of this stuff out, and I just stopped playing both of them. So I'm gonna lean in on your opinion because you've probably played much more than I did.
I have
I
played
never
them
finished
all
these.
the way through the end and even went back to revisit them to see if I was wrong, and I was not wrong, and they're not good. Okay? But
All right.
I
So
that's
top
just
of D tier,
back of D tier.
back of D tier, behind Four
Behind
Swords and Link's crossbow training.
Behind Hyrule Warriors 3DS. Okay,
No,
fine. Okay, fine. Uh
come
you
on, they're
want to put
actual Zelda games. You may not like them, but they should be top of D tier.
Okay, which one do you think's better? Phantom Hourglass or Spirit Tracks? Do you know?
Of my limited
Phantom
knowledge,
Hourglass,
I
I think, is the
personally
best.
prefer. Oh, I was gonna say Spirit
Spirit
Tracks,
Tracks?
but yeah,
Interesting.
there are things about Spirit Tracks that I remember more, and that's about as much as I can say.
I thought the story in Phantom Hourglass was at least serviceable. Um,
All right, go for it.
are you sure? Uh,
Look, like I said, you've played more than I, so.
okay, fine.
And to be fair, I'm also influenced by like, was it like Smash Bros where they had the Spirit Tracks like stage
The
and there's the
level,
music
yeah,
playing
they
and
did.
yeah, and I do like the music. So
Okay,
as long as they are top of D tier, I'm fine with
they're
that,
top of D
sir.
tier for you, Brandon. Um, yeah, and all the people that
Triforce
probably have
Heroes
been mad
though.
at me for putting it behind everything. Anyway, Triforce Heroes is next, and it is at the
Okay,
bottom of D tier.
wait. Yeah, yeah. Triforce Heroes, like, that's not even an argument. That's just drop that behind D tier. But
It's
like, wait, I gotta come back to this. Do you really think that Phantom Hourglass and Spirit Tracks are less fun than the original two Zelda games?
yeah. Oh yeah.
Really?
Mhm.
Zelda 2?
Mhm. Zelda 2 is way more fun. Just grab your Game and Watch, dude, and play it. I'm sorry, dude.
It's yeah, it's there.
You like retro games. For retro, like, turn back time, buddy. Go pick it up and play it.
I mean, at
Phantom
this point, Phantom
Look,
Hourglass and Spirit
you
Tracks would also be
can't
considered retro.
we can't sit here and say Phantom Hourglass and Spirit Tracks are better because they're more modern games, so they had like cool stuff added in because of the tech they were using. Right?
It's not what I'm
I
saying.
I okay, cool. Just making sure that wasn't the case you were making because I don't see anything. Shinking, I'm sorry. I'm really putting down these games. Um, I don't like them. I was so disappointed because number one of the biggest problems I have with this is the DS is one of the best and most amazing consoles Nintendo's ever made. These are the only Zelda games on it. Um,
That's fair. Yeah.
and I can't express to you how upset that made me. That I didn't
Mm.
get something like, I mean, we're coming from Game Boy Advance where we had stuff like Minish Cap, and then we on the Game Boy we had Oracle Ages and Seasons, and we had Link's Awakening, and then you get Phantom Hourglass and Spirit Tracks. You know how long the DS was around? You know how long I had to wait for a handheld Zelda that was actually good? A really long time, Brandon.
All right. We hear you. You're bitter. All right. We can keep it in D tier.
Thank you.
Okay. But A Link Between Worlds, A
No,
tier, and I won't hear
are,
any
are we
arguments.
are we not going to talk at all about Triforce Heroes? Probably
Oh, I
not.
wasn't.
It is. I think it's probably the worst game on this list. I
Yeah.
do think it.
Yeah.
I
If
think it
if
is.
Four Swords is D tier, then Triforce Heroes is also D
Now,
tier because it's basically the same concept.
yeah, but Four Swords we have in front of Link's Crossbow training and the horrible Hyrule Warriors Legends for the 3DS. I have Hyrule Warriors Legends that far back because its performance is so awful that
Sure.
it's basically an unplayable game.
Then put it
Um,
above that
okay, cool.
because it was
Link's
playable.
It
I
was
mean, okay,
playable.
put it above Crossbow Training as well.
All right, fine. Behind Four Swords? Is it worse than Four Swords?
Uh,
Nah, I think it's probably
no,
better than Four Swords.
yeah, put it ahead of Four
It's a
Swords
better
because
implementation
it's
of the same concept.
yeah, better implementation, less players required, and more accessibility because of the 3DS.
There we go. See,
Yep.
just take a little bit of thinking. We can't be impulsive. We can't just like go in and be like,
Put
it's a
Spirit
horrible
Tracks at D
game.
tier.
I had him at the bottom behind everything. Yeah, that's right. I'm glad we talked through this. Okay. We have way more Zelda games in D tier than I had anticipated.
I
Um
I was thinking like
but
they're gonna be like these guys hate Zelda. Oh man.
listen, man, we just hate the bad ones. Anyway, uh A Link Between Worlds, I agree, is an S tier game and one of the best handheld Zeldas, if
Oh,
not.
I said A tier, but I'm happy you said S because that's where my heart actually
Yeah,
lies.
it
I'd
is
say
S
it's at the
tier.
back of S tier.
It's
Back of S.
behind Majora's Mask. Yeah, I think
But
you're right.
still, like, what a brilliant way to basically
Oh, it's so clever and cool. It's basically a
yeah,
sequel to A Link to the Past.
yeah, that's what, like, to get back to A Link to the Past, but do something super unique and I love that game. Oh, it's so good.
And the
So,
whole,
yeah.
like, merging in with the wall mechanic.
Yeah, you,
Actually,
like,
with
slip
when I
through and
saw that on, like, trailers and stuff, I was like, "This looks stupid." But they did so many clever things with that.
yeah,
Like, the whole
I loved
design
it.
around some dungeons used that really well. I loved it. I think it was so cool.
Yeah,
Um,
totally agree.
yeah, 10 out of 10. Probably arguably the best 3DS game there is. I mean, if you just set aside the fact that Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask are remakes of N64 games, this was an actual original 3DS game.
Yeah.
Um, A Link Between Worlds
And
is
they just
incredible.
recaptured the Link to the Past version of Hyrule so brilliantly. Oh, it's so good.
I need
I
to go
love
back
that
and
game.
play that again. It's been a while.
I know. I was just thinking that, like, oh man, I gotta pull that one out. Yeah.
So this next one's gonna be interesting because I know a lot of people are divided on it, and that's Twilight Princess, and
Mm.
they're we sitting here with the GameCube version, the Wii U version, and the Wii version. Um, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put these all together, and we're gonna
Okay.
talk about them.
Okay.
And right now, the Wii version to me goes in C tier. I did not like the motion controls when you compare them to the GameCube or the
Oh, C tier.
all right, fine. Let's
Okay,
talk about
so here's
let's
the thing.
first no,
Here's the
let's
thing.
talk about the Wii U version first because I don't want everybody thinking I hate
Okay,
this
fine.
game because I actually freaking love it. I love Twilight Princess, and I think the Wii U version
D
is
tier.
so good. It is an A tier game for me. Twilight Princess
Yeah. I
HD
agree.
on the Wii U is A tier.
Yeah.
There is some
Easy.
like a little bit more linearity to it. It's not super open. It's very story focused. They tried to go like this
Yeah.
dark, mature route with the game, and I actually really liked it, especially following up Wind Waker and everything like that. I just think um, Twilight Princess is an amazing Zelda game. I would love to. We need this on Switch, by the way. I don't know why it's not, but
Yeah, dude.
I'm gonna kick things off with Twilight Princess at the top of A tier in front of the Game Boy
Yeah.
version. Okay,
Yeah.
of Link's Away.
Yeah.
Got it.
Okay.
Okay, now we can talk
For the
about
other
the
two.
Wii and the GameCube versions.
Yeah. Okay. For the other two, so I'm gonna struggle with this one because I never played the GameCube version because when I got the Wii, and I think I've told that story of how my parents gave me like a slip at Christmas that was like, "We really tried, but we'll keep trying. Merry Christmas" for the Wii. And then after several weeks, I got one at a GameStop, and everybody in the GameStop was staring me down and wanted to kill me. The game that I did have was Twilight Princess. Like I got it for the Wii and I was so hyped to play it. And when I finally got to play it, I had like a strategy guide and I figured out the motion controls and I like 100% at that game. Like I went to every single hole and nook and cranny and got all of the heart pieces and I went crazy. And I loved it. So I'm going to struggle with it because it was like a Wii launch title for me, I just assumed I would have to figure it out. And once I figured it out, the Wiimote controls were like no detractor for me at all. In fact, I thought it was kind of cool being able to actually like swing my sword. Um, that being said, like nowadays, if I can play a Wii game with a GameCube controller, I typically prefer it.
Same.
So I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know. It hurts my heart because I
I just
loved the Wii
never,
version.
I just never really liked motion controls in general, even when they were a hot new thing. I didn't like
But
them.
like C tier though,
Okay, fine. B, back of B.
back no. No, sir. Either top of B or back of A. It's still
We'll
Twilight
put
Princess.
we'll put both of them at the top of B. Will that make you happy?
Okay. Yes, that will make me happy. It's still Twilight Princess. I'm
There we go.
comfortable with that.
That's fair.
Man, this A tier is empty though. We need some
Oh,
A
we're
tier
getting
games
there.
in here.
Things are about to get real. I mean, this S tier is packed. Okay,
I,
so
I know.
you know what
Like
I
when
mean?
we like a Zelda game, we
We
really
love
like
a
a Zelda
Zelda
game.
game. I mean,
And
come
when we
on.
hate it, we really
Really
hate
hate it.
it.
Yeah, that's how that's what it's all about here. This is a very divided list. And I will say I've added another one, Skyward Sword HD, to the list here.
Oh, okay.
Uh, and we're gonna pair these together, Skyward Sword HD, because we're gonna feed off the whole motion controls versus non-motion controls. And this one is a very different topic of conversation because Skyward Sword was very heavily designed around the motion controls, and the implementation on the
Yeah.
Switch of how they did it without the motion controls. I'll be interested to hear. Have you played it?
Yep.
Okay, so I'll be interested to hear your thoughts on if you liked the motion controls better than their joystick implementation of how this worked.
Well, the weird thing to me was that this is like the opposite of what you just described with Twilight Princess. Twilight Princess, the motion controls could feel janky, and the controller felt more like a natural Zelda game. In this game, the motion controls felt way more natural, and the HD implementation felt janky because you were using the controller. Now, that being said, I still really enjoyed what they did on the Switch version, and I'm really glad that we got it. But it was clear that they were having to work with something that wasn't designed to be played with a normal controller. Um, so
It did feel weird, but I
yeah,
like everything else but the controls better on the Switch.
yeah.
You
So
know,
I probably would still put the Switch version higher.
I have it in A tier, and I
Yeah,
have
I
it
think that's a good spot for it.
right behind Twilight Princess, so in front of Link's
Oh,
Awakening.
behind Twilight Princess.
I do, yeah. I like Twilight
Interesting.
Princess better than Skyward Sword.
Okay. I'm comfortable with that. I think personally I liked Skyward Sword better, but that's because I really, really loved the lore of
My
Skyward
Yeah, I
Sword.
really did too. I just think that there was just too much emphasis that when we're going back to talking about how sometimes Nintendo will really shoehorn in mechanics for hardware's sake. And I feel like Skyward Sword, while not as big of an example as, those horrible DS games, the the you could tell that every boss fight, every dungeon puzzle, everything had these motion controls in mind. And for me, that's what puts it behind Twilight Princess.
Okay, that's fair. I mean, it's hard for me to
When
knock
you have it on the
Nintendo on
Wii
that.
though, yeah, exactly. I mean, they're taking advantage of
Like,
their
yeah,
hardware,
this
and
is like
that's
Zelda is their
important.
one of their core
I
franchises,
get
and
it.
this is their core console. So like, it's yeah, I hear you. It's just hard. It's hard to knock it because of that. Like, what else were they supposed to do? Be like, yeah, we think the Wii controls suck too. Like that wasn't gonna happen.
Yeah, and it
So
was brought out at E3 with this huge demo about how cool it was to swing the sword and all that. I still like Twilight Princess better.
I mean, they're close. Like I said, I'm comfortable with letting it be that. Um,
And you
like I
have
said, I
the Wii
I
version
probably
behind
would.
the Switch version,
Yeah,
still in front of Link's Awakening.
yeah.
All right.
Skyward Sword's lore and the music and everything though
The
was
music
so
is
good.
top tier.
Oh my gosh.
I
Yeah.
really like the ending of
So
that
so
game
good.
too. I really like how it came together in the end. I thought it was paced
Yeah.
really well, and I I just really enjoyed that game.
Yeah.
Um,
And I feel like this is maybe like a silly thing to hone in on, but I really liked the more obvious like love story between Zelda and Link.
yeah,
Cuz so many of the Zelda games like I remember as a kid I was like, bro, just like kiss the princess. Like we all know that you like each other, but it just they always like played coy, like, oh yeah, you just saved the princess and you're the hero, and moving on. Like even even my 4-year old is like, are Link and Zelda gonna get married? Like, I just introduced her to the
Yeah.
series, and she's already like, yeah, this makes sense. So I did remember being like, hey, there's actually some legitimate interest here. That makes sense. And then some of the side characters were super goofy and stuff, and I loved the sky. Oh shoot, what were the birds called? Um, the loft wings. I was
Yep.
gonna say skyloft. The loft
I
wings were
hated
super cool.
flying those with the motion controls, Brandon. Oh my god.
I'm sorry, but it wasn't that bad.
No, it was horrible. You're right, it
All
wasn't
right,
that bad. It
fine.
was horrible.
Don't move it down to D tier, Slam. We're
I'm
not we're not
not.
there.
I love
We're not.
Skyward Sword. It has my heart. I love Skyward Sword. I love it so much. And anybody, there's people out there that hate on it. I love Skyward Sword. It's really
Really?
good.
Are
Yeah,
there
there
people who
really
hate on
is.
Skyward Sword?
Yeah, just go look at the comments section of the 10 out of 10 review by IGN. It's pretty rough. Anyway,
I
uh,
mean,
I mean, all
IGN's
of them
easy
are
to hate
rough,
on.
but it just shows me there's plenty of people in this world that don't like Skyward
Sure,
Sword.
sure. All
I've
right.
watched some YouTube videos on it too that have people trashing it. It's just
We'll just keep an eye on the comments here and see how many people are
yeah,
like,
what do you
"Yeah, it's
guys think of
trash."
Skyward Sword?
Yeah,
You know? And did you like the motion controls?
yeah. But let's not put it
Um
into D tier comments.
so next up we got Wind Waker, which is another divisive one for the Zelda fans out there, but I think this is easy. An
Is it still
easy.
divisive?
Yeah, I mean,
Man,
I
I
very
feel
much
like when
was
Wind
at launch,
Waker.
but it's very
Yeah,
very
yeah,
it's built um it's resonated with fans over time. A lot of people go
yeah.
back to it and realize that it's amazing. But I can tell you right now, when it came out, I was very much on the side of that I loved it. And I
Me
played
too.
this on my GameCube when it launched, and I was obsessed in a
Yep,
way that I had never been obsessed with the Zelda game before.
yep.
And, I talk about Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask, and I love those for completely different reasons. Wind Waker was something totally different. I printed off. It was the first game I ever played that I wanted to 100%. This was like I played it, I never wanted to stop playing it, and I wanted to get everything.
I know. And keep exploring
I
and finding
printed
the
off
islands and finding
the
treasures
IGN
and
walkthrough that was like this thick to get every single thing in this game, and
I
I went
love
through
that.
that. I sat in front of my TV with my GameCube controller and played for hours and hours and hours, and I still, like, vividly remember walking into the store, buying this game. My mom bought
Yep.
it for me
Me too.
and being, like, so excited to take it home, but having no idea what I was about to get into.
And got the Master Quest bonus disc too.
Yeah,
Like, cause I got it from GameStop. Oh man, I we're talking about it and I'm like feeling it.
yeah. Um,
Yeah,
I have a hard time not putting Wind Waker in S tier. I do think it's one of the best. I think it's the
me
best
too.
GameCube game ever. I think it's one of the best Zelda games, hands down. I love it. And Wind Waker HD is also. I mean, I think they're neck and neck. I'm going to pair them together. There's things I actually like about the original better than the remake.
Yeah.
But the remake does do some things with like the open ocean exploration that makes things a bit easier, more
Yeah.
streamlined. So for that sake, maybe we just pop it in front of it. But
Yeah, I think it edges it out for sure, but yeah, no, this is a this is such a fantastic game. I remember playing through it and um I remember Nintendo saying that they went this route because they wanted the characters to look more expressive and they nailed it like right out the gate. Like there's this scene in the very beginning where like Link is in a cannon and they're like
yep,
counting it down to fire him off into the fortress
I
and the
remember
facial
that. His
expressions are
facial. I
hilarious.
just played
Yeah.
through that. I played through maybe the
Yeah,
first
and it's
5 hours or
it's
so
like
on
we've
the
never
NSO.
seen a Link like this who's like, "Oh crap, like what's going to happen?"
Yeah,
And it's so good all the way through. Like I remember the last strike against Ganondorf was so freaking sick. Um and the lore in this game with like all of the water and where Hyrule is and all that stuff, like it was
I
still
love
very
the
much a
way
Zelda
the
game, but it
water
felt
looks
so
too.
different.
I love the
Yeah.
way the water looks. like
And,
when you
like
splash the water, like the
yeah.
waves and stuff. It's just so cool.
You
Such
had
a
the
cool art
boat,
style.
with, like, a bunch of the themes from, like, Link to the Past and Ocarina of Time, and then the soundtrack in the game, dude. I remember okay, s I'm just gonna go into this story. When I was a kid, I had this. I don't know if anybody remembers having one of these. There used to be these like little recorders where you'd have these like little cassette tapes that you'd put in and you could record yourself.
Mhm.
And I remember there was at the time no way that I knew to get this soundtrack. And I was so obsessed with the credits theme or the song that played during the credits that I beat the game multiple times and I recorded it. And then I would just stick my headphones in. And when we were driving around, I would just listen to it on my recorder. And it sounded terrible because the recorder was super, janky, but it was the only way I could do it. And I loved the soundtrack so much. So yeah, I would struggle to put it less than S tier. I love Wind
Where are we
Waker.
putting it at in S tier though? For me, it's definitely in front of A Link Between Worlds. Um,
Yeah,
I have a hard time putting it ahead of Majora's Mask, A Link to the
me too.
I know it's behind A Link to the Past, um, and Ocarina of Time, but is it
Let's just put
ahead?
it in front of let's put it in front of A Link Between Worlds
Okay,
and not ask any more questions.
there we go.
My heart can't take overtaking Majora's Mask. I love it.
Yeah, I know. People are gonna be like, "What?" Maybe. I don't know. Maybe Majora's Mask, maybe people like those a lot. Maybe we're wrong. Or
Oh
maybe
no,
we're
I
right
I think I would be so surprised if we don't get comments being like, "Y'all are cray," because
about Majora's
Majora's
Mask
Mask,
being
like,
this high.
yeah, when I've talked with people, they're like, "What do you mean you like Majora's Mask?" I'm like, "It's so good though, you don't understand." So,
Yeah.
oh shoot, but we just got to Breath of the Wild.
Yeah. Breath of the Wild. Now this one
Okay, wait. Are we? Is it legal to have this many games in S tier? Are we
okay,
gonna
well
get? Is Nintendo
truly
gonna come at us and I don't know, arrest us for too much
truly
hype? I don't know what's going on.
truly well, we've got 2 A Link to the Past here, 2 Ocarina of Times, and 2 Majora's Mask, and 2
Okay,
Wind
fair enough.
Wakers. So, in
So
reality,
technically, it's four games.
we have
No,
Ocarina of
5 games.
Time we have Ocarina of Time, A Link to the Past, Majora's Mask, Wind Waker, and A Link Between Worlds.
And we're about to put Breath of the Wild up there.
Yeah, and yeah, we're definitely putting Breath of the Wild up there. Where we're putting Breath of the Wild is hard. I love Breath of the Wild. I think it's
I think it's
right.
top.
It I think it's behind Ocarina of Time.
I don't think it's behind
It
Ocarina of
doesn't
Time.
have dungeons.
I
Okay?
I know, but I
I
know.
no
I
no
I
no
hear
no no
you.
no
I hear
stop
you.
stop stop. Hold on. We can't put it at the top. I can't.
Hey,
Brandon, hold on.
listen,
Let me
Mr.
make
D
a
tier. You're
case.
gonna hear me this
Let
time.
me make a case, okay? And then you can make your case to me.
Okay.
I love Breath of the Wild with all my heart. I think it's the best modern Zelda, and I think it does a lot of really creative things with how it handles physics. The art style is amazing, but the story is not at that level of Ocarina of Time. Ganon is not that force in this one. It's just the story isn't there in the same way, and the characters, while they're great, don't have as much depth. And the dungeons are part. I'm one of the people that really thinks I really liked the divine beasts. I thought they were cool. I thought they were a cool concept, and I thought they were much better implemented in Tears of the Kingdom, which we'll get to in a second. But I still think Breath of the Wild is the better game of those two. But Breath of the Wild is missing some of the charm that comes with a lot of the best Zelda games out there. And while I do think it is up there, neck and neck with top of the line, I think it's ahead of Majora's Mask. I think it's ahead of Link to the Past. I think it's ahead of Wind Waker. It is not ahead of Ocarina of Time for me. And I just, in good faith, cannot put it there. I cannot put it there.
I hear you and I understand, and I think this probably gets into the rift between traditional and new Zelda fans, even though we're both
Yeah.
clearly. Um, But I just think like Breath of the Wild mechanically fulfills the vision that Zelda has always wanted to have and always wanted to be.
Where are the dungeons?
And the divine beasts are dungeon enough from my perspective, especially because you have 120 whatever shrines that you can go to as well. Not only that, it genuinely feels like anywhere you go, the world map itself is worth exploring, figuring things out. There's like all of these things you can do everywhere. No single playthrough is the same for any player. It's just so unbelievably just magnificent that they could figure out how to make an open world game that never felt boring.
You got me.
Everywhere you turn, everywhere you turn, there's something to find, there's something to do, there's somewhere to go, like there's some
So
curiosity. Like they just they nailed like Breath of the Wild as a video game, period, is one of the best video games of all time, and they pulled that off with Zelda. Now, I agree with you 100% about the story, by the way. I think the story is not as strong. In fact, I would argue that Majora's Mask and Ocarina of Time have stronger stories than Breath of the Wild does, but it's just so hard for me to put Breath of the Wild lower because it would be hard for me to argue in any case that like Ocarina of Time fundamentally is more fun than Breath of the Wild. Like I still think it's incredible, don't get me wrong. I'm not moving it that far down, but like Breath of the Wild is truly something else. Like what they achieved with that game is mind-boggling. So that's why to me it's like top tier, no question.
I do. You got me with the whole like you get no playthrough is the same. It kind of spurs on this thing. This video that I saw of a guy explaining some long drawn out thing with like a dead horse or something in Breath of the Wild, and it was like the funniest thing I've ever heard. But it like is
I love
real.
those
Like
videos.
it like really went down that way. Um, and you never would have estimated that. Look, I'm playing through Breath of the Wild now on the Switch too, and oh man, it's gorgeous.
It's so good on the Switch too. I
Yeah,
started it with my daughter and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, this looks
it's
amazing."
insane how good it looks. My wife walked in while I was playing it, and she was like, "Is this Breath of the Wild?" I was like, "Yeah." And she was like, "This is unbelievable. Like,
Okay,
this
side
looks
note.
way
I
better."
when I started it with my daughters, so we come out of the place and we like, do the whole overlook,
Yeah.
and then it like pans the camera so that you see the king. And I was like, "Ooh, who's that?" And my 2-year-old, without missing a beat, goes, "A monkey!" And I don't know why, but the timing of it was so hilarious. And I was like, "No, baby, that's not a monkey. That's a dude."
Yeah.
It was so good. Anyway,
Look, man, I'm pretty firm. I don't want to put it above Ocarina of Time. I just think Ocarina of Time is just like a one of the few truly timeless games that exists,
and I
and
think Breath of the Wild was the modern Ocarina of Time.
it's not.
The only reason to me Ocarina of Time is not above Breath of the Wild is because of the limitations of what they could do with Ocarina of Time. And what they were
No,
able to
because
do at the
Ocarina
time
of
was
Time
incredible.
feels so intentional.
Totally.
Every single element of that game feels handcrafted to be perfect,
Agreed.
whereas Breath of the Wild does not.
Yes it does.
It's got
The fact that you
120
can go
shrines, and
I know,
some of
but the
them
fact
are
that you can go in
exactly the same, dude.
But the fact that you can go any direction and again, like not lose interest because there's always something to do. Like it never feels unintentional. You have played open world games where you're like, this gets boring because they did openness for the sake of openness. And in Breath of the Wild, in that sense, nothing feels unintentional. Like what I would love to see is them take a crack at remaking Ocarina of Time and fulfilling some of the vision that they could not fulfill with the limitations of the 64 at the time. I'm not saying it needs to become Breath of the Wild, but like, can you imagine what they could do with Hyrule Field with today's technology? Like, there could be some crazy stuff that they did with Ocarina of Time. And if they did that, absolutely, I would give that to you, hands down. But I
All
think
right,
this is.
retro Brandon.
I
Let's
know.
put
I'm like,
Breath of the Wild at the top of S tier.
oh, I'm sorry, Slam.
I lost that battle, guys. But sound off in the comments below and let me know if you are on my side or if you're going to take modern Brandon's side. Um, so next up, we got
Sassy
Tears of the
Slam tonight.
Kingdom. And I'm interested to hear your thoughts of which one you like better, Zelda Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom. Now, I initially just a second ago said I like Breath of the Wild better, but I think after having this conversation, I talked myself into liking Tears of the Kingdom better. And I'm going to tell you why. Now, it's not necessarily because of the building, crafting aspects of Tears of the Kingdom, which I think are really cool, and I have yet to play it on Switch too, because I
Oh,
wanted
me
to
too.
play Breath of the Wild on Switch too first. But I imagine that Tears of the Kingdom actually runs and does a lot of the things a lot better than it did on Switch One. Um,
That was like the one thing that ran so bad was
so
when you'd
bad
start
was when
fusing a
you'd
bunch of
start
things
fusing a bunch of
together.
things
Yeah,
together.
the
Yeah,
frame rate would just tank. Yep.
I liked all the callbacks to old school Zelda in Tears of the Kingdom, like how you could go find like all of the gear and stuff, and you could like go. There was a lot more exploration that could be done in Tears of the Kingdom. The Sky Islands were really interesting. There was a lot of cool things you could do with like the fusion mechanics up there. Um, I played Tears of the Kingdom so much that I got like a medical condition. I had a I, I had a red eye and I had to stop playing video games or like watching screens for a while. I had to go to the doctor and
Oh
everything.
man.
Um, yeah, I think that might be the only game that's ever happened with. I was totally addicted to Tears of the Kingdom. I
I
bought
mean,
all the
that
things.
should speak for itself.
I bought the Switch OLED Tears of the Kingdom, I bought the collector's edition of Tears of the Kingdom, I bought all the Tears of the Kingdom amiibos, I bought the
All my
Pro
stuff is up
controller
there.
for Tears
Yep.
of the Kingdom.
Yep.
Anything Tears of the Kingdom that came out, I have it.
Yep. Yeah, Nintendo definitely got like $400 out of me for that one
The
single
day I
game.
picked it up, like I brought it home and was just like, yeah, this is bonkers. Yeah, let's put Tears of the Kingdom at the top of S tier. I do think, and I think the Divine Beasts are far better in Tears of the Kingdom. I felt like the journey to those almost felt like dungeons.
Yeah.
Um,
I think Tears. I know, like, I remember when the reviews
and
came
the
out, I was
bosses
so
were way
confused.
better. The bosses were way
Yeah.
better in Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah.
They weren't just like different forms of Ganon. They were
Yeah.
unique set pieces that were handcrafted from the ground up.
Yeah.
Though they were significantly better than Breath of the Wild.
Yeah. Yeah, when the reviews came out, I was so confused because some people were reviewing it lower than Breath of the Wild, basically because they were like,
Still Breath
"Well,
of the
it's
Wild.
not quite as innovative as Breath of the Wild." It's like, yeah, sure, like it's not going to have the same punch as Breath of the Wild because when that came out, we were all like, "Excuse me, what? Like you did what in a video game?" But everything about this game is Breath of the Wild plus plus. Like they took it, they fixed a bunch of the criticisms, they added. I think the story is much better in Tears of the Kingdom,
I do too.
especially that the ending was so legit. Um,
Oh, I
and
know that ending scene.
yeah, it was so cool.
So
Um,
insanely cool. And the final boss
and
fight was really awesome too. Yeah, Tears of the
yeah,
Kingdom
and they had like
is
the
better
underworld that like nobody even knew was there until we got it in our
until we
hands, and then
got
people
it.
were like,
Yeah.
"What?" Yeah, no, this game was just
This is the
everything Breath of the
best,
Wild did and
probably
more.
the best Zelda
Yeah,
game. Yeah, this might be the best
yeah,
Zelda game of all time. Yeah, let's go
yeah.
ahead. Top of S tier. Still like Ocarina of Time better than both of these, but I'm okay with it. I'm not as firm on it as I was. Brandon, modern Brandon here did a good job of convincing retro slam.
It's gonna be
Um,
okay. Bitter? Did you say bitter slam or retro slam? I missed that.
this is too much. This whole freaking put every Zelda game in the S tier. Look at this thing. This is insane.
This is so ridiculous. We should like take a picture of this and just tag Nintendo and be like, "Hey guys,
We really like
we might like
Zelda.
Zelda." Yeah.
Maybe. Um, yeah. So
Oh man.
moving on, I've got Link's
Last three.
Awakening next up. No, because I added Echoes of Wisdom and Hyrule Warriors at the end there, so we've still
Okay.
got 5. But well, yeah, Link's Awakening remake, amazing game. Um, I think this is one of the best 2D Zelda games, probably if not the best 2D Zelda game.
Mm. It was
Uh,
so good.
it's so good. It's so cool. The art style is amazing. It's so charming. Um, I played it on Switch too, and this thing runs so well that my eyes kind of
Oh,
hurt when
did
I
you?
looked at it. Yeah, because I was like used to playing. I played a lot of this game. I probably beat it like 5 times.
Okay.
Because it's one of those Zelda games I can get through in a weekend. I like
Yeah,
know
yeah,
it
yeah.
that well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like when I get a craving for like a 2D Zelda, I will. This is the one that I go back to every
Okay.
time.
Okay.
Link's Awakening on the Switch. Um, I put it in on the Switch too, and it ran so well that it like hurt my eyes when I was playing because I was just so used to like looking at it running like when you
I need to
go
pop it
between
in.
areas and the regular Switch version, it looks like a slideshow almost. It like stutters.
Yeah.
And then once you played it so much, you kind of just like get used to it and expect that. And then when it doesn't do it, it just looks so weird. Um, but I love it. And so to me, it's going in A tier. Um, and I put it behind Skyward Sword. So it's like in front of
So
Link's
just
Awakening.
yeah, just in front
Yeah.
of the original.
Yeah. That's where I'm at.
Mm,
Unless you think it should be higher.
I don't know. Uh, I feel like it makes sense there. I feel like in terms of execution, you don't have the same issues with controls from either of those other games, and it's just a pure, smooth, well executed, and beautiful Zelda game.
I think Twilight Princess does not have the Twilight Princess on the Wii U, which is what we have at the top of the A tier, does not have the
Sure, okay.
control issues, and I do think it's a better game. I'm okay with putting it ahead of Skyward Sword, but
Mm,
I would not put it ahead of Twilight Princess.
no, I'm comfortable with your placement. I
Behind or
just really
ahead of Skyward Sword?
behind. I just pushed you around in the S tier, so I'll give this one to you.
All right, fair enough. I would have rather had the other win, by the way. So
You're welcome. I'm helping you out here, buddy.
yeah, sure, whatever. What's the next game?
Okay, so this one's Master Quest. And we probably should have talked about this a little bit with Ocarina of Time, but did you ever play Master Quest?
It's the hard, like reversed version of
Yeah, it's like
Ocarina
a
of Time.
modified version of Ocarina of Time. It's really good though. I am not sure if I would say it's better than the original,
I
but
don't.
it
I
was
played a little
really
bit of
unique
it,
and
but
interesting.
yeah, it was a cool idea. I think we should just probably throw it in behind Ocarina of Time
Sure.
up in the S
That's
tier
fair.
because it's still Ocarina.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we have the promotional disc. This one I'm not as familiar with.
We're just gonna put this in did not play because I don't know what's in it.
Okay.
So now we have
It
Echoes of
looks like
Wisdom.
Ocarina of Time again,
Yeah,
but
it might
okay,
be,
Echoes of
but we
Wisdom.
already ranked those. I'm sure whatever is on this promotional disc is already ranked here. And if it's not, and somebody in the comments is a diehard fan of the Zelda promotional disc, let us know.
Please let us
Uh,
know.
let us know where you'd rank it. Is it go ahead of Link's crossbow training? We'll find out.
It should be at the top of did not play.
um, okay, sure, for you. Echoes of Wisdom. Now, this game was borderline unplayable on the Switch. I did beat it. Uh, and I think, man, some people wouldn't say it's unplayable, but I really didn't. Especially when you got you stacked up a lot of these echoes that you were trying to put together, it ran really, really bad. Um, but it's a great game, a cool concept.
Yeah, I think
But
mechanically it's so interesting that
but
they
I
were
just,
able to take some of the flexibility you got from like Breath of the Wild and Tears, but then bring it into a 2D.
I like that they like kind
Um,
of opened up the world a little bit too.
I have to confess though, like the thing that I struggled with the game was not the performance. Like I felt the performance, of course, because I played it on the Switch. Um, I don't know. I kind of struggled with not being Link, and I'm not saying that to be like, oh, Zelda. I don't want to play Zelda. I have no problem playing a Zelda.
It
It was
wasn't.
just not being able to use my sword in
That's
certain
it. It was
scenarios
the
was so
friction.
irritating.
The
Yeah,
friction that there was too much friction in getting from point A to point B. It wasn't as natural. It didn't feel
yeah.
as
Like some enemies that you would normally just mow through and move on
you
took
gotta
way
like
longer
I
because you're
did
like, which enemy should
I
I
gotta pick
summon?
the
Like,
Echo.
what's the best?
Apparently
Yeah, yeah.
apparently they streamlined the whole Echo choosing process in the Switch 2 version. I will replay this on Switch,
Oh, okay.
but you could like do like favorites and stuff like that. And apparently they
Because
fixed a
that
lot of that.
inventory was a
Once you
nightmare.
got deep into the game, it was so stupid. Anyway, the I did not like the friction of like trying to fight enemies or I didn't like the fact that some of the dungeon puzzles it was like you have to craft a specific you have to use a specific echo to do this to get to this point and it was just a point of frustration that in parts should allow for more creativity but lacked um the ability to get really creative with what you had in your tool set.
Yeah.
um there were points where it did allow for that, so I don't want to say the whole game was like that. It was just
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I liked it overall. I just like I
it's a
found myself.
B tier for me
Yeah,
behind Minish Cap
yeah. I think that's fair. I think it's
in
fair.
in front of the Oracle games.
There's something about like if they gave Zelda the sword and the option to do echoes and limited the amount of echoes she could use, I think it would have been a more fun game
Mhm.
because then you could just again get through enemies more quickly when you need to, and then you can be creative in terms of how you solve other challenges. But because it was like, oh, you have all of your echoes, and then a limited amount of time you can basically turn into Link and use a sword. It could just be so frustrating. Um, yeah, so I think that's a fair placement.
So our last game, Hyrule Warriors: Age of Calamity. Now I'm a little divisive here. I played it from start to finish on the Switch. It is the worst performing game on the Nintendo Switch, and it's not really that close. This game is horrible. Maybe 10 frames per second at times with like a
Horrible
resolution.
performance.
Yeah, yeah. A resolution that was just really bad. But I played through the whole thing because I really liked the story. I did not like how that did not like the whole ending gameplay wise. Not story wise. I thought the story was great, but that whole, trudge through to the ending of that game, like it got to the point where I was like, I'm not enjoying this game anymore. I just want to see how the story finishes.
Yeah.
I booted it up on the Switch too, and it plays way better. And if it wasn't, one of these Muso games, I probably would replay it. But I'm not a huge fan of these. And we've got the other um, Hyrule Warriors game coming out this year that I will play. And you played Zelda in that one, so um, I
But
would
not with
put,
echoes.
but not with echoes. We'll be able to fight stuff. Uh, I would put this in B tier at the very back. The story is really good.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that that works for me because I think it is a step up from the other Hyrule Warriors. I think This is where I feel like they started to get their foothold, and they started to implement things better. We started seeing Fire Emblem Warriors and other Warriors Nintendo IPs that were doing better. And then this at the time was my favorite Muso Nintendo game until uh well, Persona's not a Nintendo game, but Persona 5 Strikers is like the best iteration in my opinion. Um this though I thought was really good. Performance, absolutely, it was terrible, but I did enjoy it enough that like I got used to their performance. So it wasn't until we started talking about it that I was like, oh yeah, I guess it was pretty bad.
Yeah, it was really terrible.
So I think back at B makes sense as long as it's above the other Hyrule Warriors and C.
It is, yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
let's go through this. We've got Tears of the Kingdom at the very tip top, the best Zelda game of all time, according to Modern Brandon and Bitter Slam. Behind it, we've got Breath of the Wild. Behind that, we've got Ocarina of Time and Ocarina of Time 3D. Behind that, we've got A Link to the Past. Um, then Majora's Mask, then Wind Waker, then A Link Between Worlds. How are we feeling about that S tier?
Feels great.
That does feel really good. That feels like a lot of games to have in an S tier. I feel like the looking back at it, the only one that really doesn't belong in S tier, possibly that could be debated, is A Link Between Worlds.
Yeah, I could see that as top of A tier if something had to move.
But I think we can keep it in S tier.
Yeah.
A tier, we've
Because this is
got,
our video and we can do what we want.
unless what you want is to put Ocarina of Time at the top of S tier, then you
This is
can't.
our video and we can do what I want.
A tier, we've got Twilight Princess at the top. We've got Skyward Sword and Skyward Sword HD, Link's Awakening remake, and then Link's Awakening. Those are the A tier games.
Yep.
Okay. B tier, we've got the two other original Twilight Princess games. We've got Minish Cap, we've got Echoes of Wisdom, Oracle of Ages and Seasons, and then Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity in B tier.
Yep.
Looking
I'm good
good.
with that. Yep.
In C tier, we've got Hyrule Warriors, the original. We've got the original Zelda and Zelda 2. Good with C tier.
Yep.
And then D
In
tier,
bitter tier. I
we've
mean D
got
tier.
Phantom Hourglass and Spirit Tracks is the best of the worst. Then we've got Triforce Heroes, Four Swords, Link's Crossbow Training, and the worst game that we've played of all of them, Hyrule Warriors Legends on the Nintendo 3DS.
I don't know, man. I still feel bad about Phantom Hourglass and Spirit Tracks being above the originals or below the originals.
I no. Okay, number one, you have to give at least some of a nod to the very first Zelda, especially if your favorite is Breath of the Wild. Um, then
We know that. It's did you notice it's top of it? Did you see that?
no, I didn't see it. Totally missed it. Um, then Zelda 2, I urge you to replay this game.
I'll think about it.
It's not gonna take you
I would
long. Just sit down
I
with it
know,
for
but
like
like
20
okay, but for
minutes.
real, if I'm like I'm playing games that I'm gonna pause to play a Zelda game, why would I play Zelda 2 when I could go
Because
back
you
like
think
Wind
it's bad,
Waker's
and I'm
on the
telling you it's
NSO
good. My
and
recommendation.
Majora's Mask and Ocarina of Time and Breath of the Wild's got an update and Tears of the Kingdom's got an update. Like I want to enjoy a game so much that I have a medical condition. So why would I play
Yeah, you're calling out my
Zelda
medical
2?
condition. Yeah, dude. Tears of the Kingdom gets the top spot just because of that. It's justified
It's
because I
true.
played so much of it. Man, I couldn't put that game
Like
down.
you said you couldn't play you couldn't say that about any other game you've ever played.
Not in my life.
That's
Honestly, I
it.
can't.
That's it. That
I
speaks for
can't.
itself.
That's why
I'm just
I'm
saying.
okay with putting it at the top of S tier. That's why I conceded defeat because Tears of the Kingdom was that good. Um, yeah, I like this list, man.
Yeah,
I do.
I think this is it.
I
This
think this
is
is a
the
solid list.
definitive list. Nobody can argue except for everybody who's going to argue in the comments and call me out for not being as retro as I should be.
Yeah. I mean, Ocarina of Time is definitely the better game, but
You know what? I'll let you end with that. So Slam thinks that it's the better game. That's fine. That's okay. That's all right. But this is our list. Let us know what you guys think in the comments. And also let us know what other games or franchises you'd like to see us rank as well. We have some ideas brewing, but we'd love to hear what you guys think. And yeah, Slam, where can everybody find you?
Slam Zany, all the things. Okay. After the ranking video of Final Fantasy, I was inspired to make a much longer focused case for Final Fantasy 13 because I was apparently hated on very much on this podcast for enjoying it. Um, Go check out my video. It's up. I talk for about 12 minutes on why the Final Fantasy 13 trilogy is actually awesome and way better than you remember it being. So that yeah, check that out. Let me know in the comments there whether you hate Final Fantasy or not, Final Fantasy 13 or not. But I very much enjoy that trilogy and would love to see it remastered.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it for me.
He's going to be starting his second account, bitter underscore slam underscore zany on Twitter. So keep an eye out for that one. And I'm Retro Brandon. You can find me at Retro Brandon on YouTube. Got a bunch of videos I'm working on that will be coming soon. The next one, spoilers, is going to be on. Well, actually, I'm not going to say that. I will not say spoilers. There's more content coming. Otherwise, you can find me on Twitter at NovaBrand and you can see me randomly tweet about things. Recently, by the way, speaking of Final Fantasy, Play Asia had a sale for the Black Mages. If you're still here and you have not heard of the Black Mages, which is basically Uematsu making a rock band to play Final Fantasy music, you should go check that music out because it's sick. And we'll end with that one. So thanks for coming, everyone. Thanks for sticking with us through this. Let me know what you think. Let us know what you think about this list and what else you'd like to see. And we will see y'all in the next one.
See you on the next one.